But now
nigga.
everybody replaceable. I ain't gonna say that.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the point.
Bitch, I never said he wasn't replaceable, nigga. You taking it like that, goofy
He
man.
take
Cause you know he's nice, nigga. You coping? Stop coping, K.
Yes, he's not. Yo, bro.
Calling this nigga a one
Nobody's
hit wonder,
arguing.
nigga. A 1 game wonder. Now he's a one
He
game
Nah,
wonder.
literally
K.
is.
Dylan
If you
ain't
want
that
to,
though. Nah, Dylan tough.
If
now this is not for
I
you.
know it's
Now
not,
this is
but
for your dumbass partner that you in
but
the
what
car
he's
with.
saying, what he's saying is, if he's saying the nigga's a 1 game wonder because of what we seen last year, yes, we know he's capable of doing it, but he only did it one time last year.
Man, you jump in that car. All right, he's a 1 game
The fuck?
wonder. All he need to do is September 12th. Proceed with caution. Avery
October
Johnson
12th. Yeah.
touchdown.
Nigga, shut up. Like you think now they if Kansas State gets Dylan Edwards, now they're on top of the pack. I mean the Big 12. No, nigga. What is you talking about, nigga? He gonna get stepped on when we play them too. It's that simple. Fuck is you talking about? Everybody about to
Weeks.
sit here and cry over spoiled milk, nigga. If you don't want to be a part of the program, you could cut. It don't matter who it is, unless it's Travis.
Do you
Yeah,
believe?
nigga, do
He
you?
say, "Do you believe?"
Do you?
Yeah, we
Motherfucker,
still
Because
define
then
believe.
that,
no, nigga. Because
man.
then all right. So look, when the season starts and there's other niggas doing their thing, I want you to stay on your side of the fence, bitching about Dylan Edwards, okay? Bitching about Dylan Edwards and Cormani McClain. I want you to stay on that fence, nigga.
That's a crazy hill to die on.
What is what does that
Hey,
prove?
watch out.
Yeah,
Hey,
Pastor.
fella.
What does that
I'm not
prove?
about no
Money,
crying
All
ass
right.
nigga. Not
What's
nothing,
going on, Pastor? What's going on,
nigga.
Pastor?
You want
My
niggas
thing
supposed to be
just
in
be
here
like it
crying
just
because
be
the
like
nigga leaving.
outside people who trying to make
The
it seem
money
like this
situation
just super.
different, bro. You know,
Bro, let's not even get into that, bro.
Yeah, we not even talking about
No, I
that.
was just saying in general though. Like T9 want to
yeah,
cry.
in general.
T9 just be crying over everybody. Every time somebody leave, the nigga act like they're not replaceable. And the
And you
season is
niggas act
over.
like it's just the
Hey,
kid fault.
T9,
Everything is the kid
Nigga,
my
what
fault.
he
boy.
just
Everything is the
bro, what are
kid
you
Hey,
fault.
guys.
talking
T9, my
about,
boy.
bro? Whatever
Hey,
the
guys.
case may be, nigga, they leaving.
Hold on,
Hold
hold
on,
on.
Pastor.
Hold on,
Hold
Pastor.
on,
Hold on.
Pastor speaking. Hey, man, this, I ain't gonna lie to you. This sucks because we know the talent Dylan has. You know what I mean? Uh,
He's a one hit wonder,
well,
Pastor.
no, no, I'm not going to diminish it. I'm not going to diminish him like that. Particularly with that line we had last year. It's just the problem is, this whole the last 3 weeks, even when the Alto was there, everybody was getting 7 carries apiece, right? That was a problem. Alto want to be number one. You know what I mean? This will be his third, year. He's trying to make it to the league. Dylan wants all the carries. The problem is you gotta have you gotta have three backs if you want to make it. You gotta have three guys ready to go. Other problem that we're not considering, and I know all this for a fact, is to run the offense we got to run. You got to have a running back that can catch out the backfield. Well, we were struggling with catching out of the backfield. You know what I'm saying? We've been struggling with that all spring. So then you add Michael Welch into the equation, and so if you got Alto and you got Dylan, both of them want to be RB1, and they're fighting over it. I don't know if y'all saw even Alto's dad tried to shade Dylan a little bit. You know what I mean? So you got guys competing. Dylan wants the ball. Alto wants the ball. Well, Dylan can catch out the backfield. That's not necessarily Alto's strength. You got to consider pass protection. So it's a lot of variables in this. You got Micah coming out the backfield. Michael can play now. He can play right now. He in between the tackles last year. We last year. Think about this. Schematically, it'll be 3rd and 1, and our OC didn't have any idea of who the players in the game were. He called it based upon scheme, not upon personnel. So what would happen? Flea or whatever would put the running backs in there. Sean would call plays, not even knowing who was in the game. So if you got
Embarrassing.
30 inches, why you got a 160-pound running back trying to run between the tackles? You see what I'm saying? So it was just a lot of stuff didn't go right last year. O-line wasn't smooth, and so now you got these two guys, both want to be RB1. Alto's still recuperating. He's not completely healthy, was not back to himself yet. Dylan wants to be the one running the number one. He didn't want to split carries with nobody, right? Micah's going to demand carries. Charlie's killing it. You got Savion who got hurt. So Now, if you got somebody that's going to come throw Dylan the bag, he wants to be RB1. We bring these other backs in there. He doesn't want to repeat last year. But what I'm telling y'all is, you know, what we got coming, we got another 4-3 back coming. 4-3, 5'10", 200 pounds. Okay? Ran a 10-9 yesterday, high school. So we gonna be fine. It's just this sucks. This stings. I'm not gonna bulljive you. You know. But I promise you this: we gonna be just. We not gonna skip a beat. I promise you that. And we gonna have more depth, and we gonna be able to do more. We need a back that can catch, pass, protect. You know, you need a down that can carry it 30 times if you need to. We haven't. You know, we didn't have that. Well, let me say this: we didn't have pass protection, catching, blocking on the edge. Think about how many times Shador got sacked last year. We didn't have anybody. Dylan really couldn't chip on third. You know, if you got third and long and you got a 260-pound defensive end coming on that side, how you gonna put? You know, who gonna chip? See what I'm saying? So it's a whole lot that we got to consider. We got different pieces of where people were great in different areas, but putting it all together in one back is hard to find. So that's my little 2 cents I want to throw into the equation based upon what I know and being on the field and the conversations I've had. So I hate it. I think Dylan is an incredible talent. I think you can give him the ball 15 times a game in between running the ball and put him out on the slot. I think it'll been great. But if he wants more and his folks thinks he can get more and he can get a bag on top of it, hey man, hey, it is what it is.
I just want to know what place in the country is telling a 5'9", 170-pound running back that you'll be the every down back. That like over here,
Kansas
over
State.
here in Colorado, we were giving him the chance to be included in more than just your typical running back schemes. Like he had a chance to really, you know, like showcase
He
himself.
going
He had a chance to really
Kansas,
showcase himself to the next
Kansas,
level.
Kansas State. You got to think about Deuce, who's with the Cowboys now. Kansas State is used to, you know what I'm saying? That's what they're used to. Even though Deuce was a little thicker than Dylan was, but they're used to those small backs. He's from Kansas. That's where he's going.
Fair enough, but then it's like they have 1,000 yard back that's a young guy, so it's like you're really banking on yourself to beat this guy out who's already established there. So
Yeah. Well, you got no Dylan. You know, Dylan. If anybody's gonna believe in himself, Dylan got that complex, man. And he's better than everybody. You know, he's got to have that mentality. That's what's made him great. You know, and he knows. He believes. You know, he's from there. He believes in himself. He's betting on himself. You know, and because there are some things that Dylan can do well that Micah couldn't do. You know what I mean? Micah, you can put Micah, you can put Dylan out as a receiver. You can put him in the slot. You can put him at kickoff return. You know, give him space. Well, that's not necessarily Micah's thing. Micah's gonna run. Micah's gonna run over you. Micah's can run between the tackles. You can't keep Micah on the bench because somebody called and said, "Well, why don't we Micah just redshirt?" You can't redshirt him based upon what has been out there. Now, when Hayden gets there, or this boy from Miami gets there, or this new kid who's gonna be visiting this weekend, when he gets there, he's a 4-star too. He got injured his 11th grade year. Y'all will see him this weekend. When you see him, you're gonna stop worrying. You know what I mean? So Micah, there's no way you could have kept Micah on the bench. There's no way. Alto knew that, and Dylan knows that. You can't keep Micah on the bench because Micah brought something that neither one of them brought. Now Hank ran tough. Savion could run tough, but Micah's a little more shifty. You know, I hate to Savion. Savion's a good back, but Micah, you can't keep him on the bench, man. He's a dog. Now, if he redshirted, I think maybe Dylan would have stayed. But some things Micah brings that nobody else right now. And Charlie's been killing. But Micah's a dog out there. If he redshirted, maybe Dylan would have stayed. But you can't. But it's impossible to redshirt. You just can't.
hey,
Not based upon what's been in the spring.
let me ask
Yeah.
you a question. Do you think that maybe because this was thrown out there too? We just got the commitment from Dallin Hayden, the running back from Ohio State. Do you think that maybe potentially him coming in, Dylan saw that as a potential obstacle and a guy who is very, very, very talented and who a lot of people, are already penciling him in as our running back one.
Well, I believe Dylan. I believe Dylan's been in. This has been in the works for the last 10 days. I believe. I believe. I think it got. I think when Alto got in the portal, it made him think a little bit more. But when this kid was for Ohio State was announced, I think that was the final. That was the final straw.
That was a nail in the coffin.
Yeah, I think it was
Mm.
that. And Amos visiting this weekend. He's another kid from Georgia, big back that went to
Big back,
South Carolina.
6'2". Yep, 232.
He's a dog, man. He's shifty, but he's faster than he looks. Like his speed for somebody that big is uncanny. You know what I mean? So we didn't have a coach. Coach really doesn't like big backs. He likes those smaller, kind of shifty 5'9", but he wants you to at least be, if 5'9", 185, 190. Dylan, in my opinion, I just hadn't seen Dylan as the guy in between the tackles. Now, to his credit, we didn't have the best line last year. Our line wasn't what we wanted to be. So some may say, well, if he had a better line, I just don't know how a 106-pound running back can take that kind of pounding for 20, 25 carries a game, especially if it's up the middle on the
And
goal
that was
line.
my point.
That's just my
That was
opinion.
my point. All I was saying is that it's hard to judge him off of last year due to all the outside factors. But with this, at least you go through this year and you have a line. You go through the year and then you assess. You know what I mean? You assess the situation after this year. I didn't really see a lot of upside in hitting the portal after this year, especially with what we went through last year and how it's going to look on you.
Yeah. Well, somebody comes offering you big money and telling you don't have to compete like that. Yeah, and you can go back home. You know what I mean? And you got folks in your ear, your family. You know what I mean? It's just it's just when that money start talking, it's a lot of things, man. And Dylan wants to be great, but he wants to be great. Dylan didn't like splitting carries this spring. He didn't like that. He didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? He wants to be the feature cat. Dylan wants to be 1,000-yard back, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Hope he
that's
get
what he
it.
wants to be. So, yeah,
Yeah, he said that at the beginning of the season.
I'm telling you, man. And
November
I
12th.
put my money.
Welcome.
I'm telling you, man. I hate it, man, because he's a great piece that's got speed. But what I am saying is, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be more than fine. We're gonna be better. We're gonna be stronger, and we're gonna have that breakaway back. We will
Yeah,
have a breakaway back that you can put in the slots. I'm telling you, just trust me, y'all. We gonna have this conversation in a few months, and y'all gonna say you told us. We got a boy coming who is ridiculous. So we just gotta. It sucks. It sucks. I'm not gonna lie,
Pastor,
but yeah.
who do who do they have coming? That's like that got hurt. They 11th grade year. Who?
Well, let me not say it right now. Hopefully,
Hey, come
hopefully,
on, man. That's a federal question.
Yes,
Bob
he
his head, bro.
hopefully I can say it to you. Hopefully I can say it this
Yes sir.
afternoon.
Yes sir. Yes sir.
Yeah, I don't want to speak too.
But Pastor, how do
I
you
said,
feel about saying like Prime don't like paying people? So him going to ask for money from a coach you already know that don't like playing people, isn't that just trying to? Isn't that just throwing it in Prime face that like we want to get paid and you don't want to pay us, so we leaving, knowing that these people all want money. Prime don't like paying people. He not a NIL guy, and people don't realize that.
some don't, some do.
I
yeah. I mean,
think
his thing.
that's the
Yeah.
assumption, bro.
I mean, the thing about him, the thing about it, man, is you just the thing about it is he just wants to be, it's just when you spend it when you spend that kind of money, you want to make sure that the person is with you. Like how much is a running back worth? You know
Not
what I'm
much.
saying?
Not much.
Yeah,
Probably like 150, 200K.
yeah. So just say hypothetically, just hypotheticals now. So somebody else say we're gonna give you 350 to come. come on here to us, and then you go back home and say, okay, hey, somebody gave me 350, and all I think you should get is 100. Then you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
What you want? What position you want me to be in as a coach or the player? So if I can get 300 over here, and you offer me 150. You want me to stay? You want me to stay? And I got all these other variables. In fact, you know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. I think it's a lot goes on, man. Then you get family in your ear, man. And everybody else want to eat off of you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a lot of
for
pressure.
sure.
I
It's a
got
lot of
some.
pressure.
I got a thing. A question, real quick. Now I understand everything you're saying as far as everything everybody's saying. Really, I'm heard over Dylan. I just woke up. I've been listening to the space, but with the examples you using, right? As far as the new kids coming
Yeah,
in, they
yeah,
could be dogs. They could be studs,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I feel like we may have a problem that everybody was complaining about last year, and that's the plug and play shit. Yeah, these cats can all
yeah,
be cool, but who's to say they gonna
yeah,
come in, learn the offense, learn the campus,
yeah,
be comfortable with getting tickets every fucking day on their cars and everything, and be able to be cool by the first game of the season as far as knowing the playbook and everything. That's kind of what I'm worried about. I get we got to just move on, and that's, you feel me. But
yeah,
dealing with somebody who knew the playbook, we knew was a dog,
yeah,
and we knew could be one of our feature backs. He could have been a 1-2 punch. We just talk about ifs,
yeah,
ands, and buts with all these new cats. Savion gone, Dylan gone. We still got
yeah,
Charlie, and we got a freshman. I like everything I see.
yeah,
But we complained last year, and everybody complained last year about the plug and play. These is a bunch of new players.
yeah.
This is a new system. They don't gel well. We got to remember that, y'all. We got to remember that. There's going to be some more new niggas that got to learn the system. That shit ain't, it don't happen in 2 months. It don't happen in 3 months. We got to remember.
I can't argue. I can't argue with you on that. I can't argue with you on that. I think the only difference in this case is Micah has been there since January,
I like Micah. I like
right?
Micah.
He's been since January. You got to think Hayden has been at Ohio State. This is his third year, so this is not no dumb. What I mean, he's got some burn already. What I mean, in a Power Four, Power Five.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
As a true freshman. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like they all coming in and haven't been. And then the boy Amos, he was at South Carolina and Miami University. So he been up since 2020. He was at South Carolina, I think, when Shiloh was there.
Mhm.
They kind of interface. They kind of interface together. So it's not like you bringing in dumb cats who haven't had any experience. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you though, because you got a bird in the hand, and the bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. I agree. I agree with everything you're saying.
hey, Nick,
You
I'll
know?
say this too. The two positions that is the most easiest to come in and understand is running back and D tackle. Your jobs it don't take that much to learn the playbook for those positions. You learn your cues and pass blocking.
You saying in the West Coast and the
I
power offense?
throw in wide receiver.
I'm just
I throw in wide receiver too.
yeah, wide receiver too, but it depends. Maybe timing or whatever. But when you're a running back, it ain't that much variable. You a DT, it ain't that much variable. So this
I
two,
mean,
three
running
months,
back is as plug and play as you as
yeah, like those is literally plug and
Plug
play
and play.
position.
Wide receiver can be plug and play.
Yeah, we seen that with Xavier
But they
a
got to
week.
be experienced though. Like
But
real,
you
real.
got to be smart though. You got to be, with
Yeah, and
the
that
play with your door. You got to be a smart. Got to know how to sit in zones and
That's
all.
my only point. I know how this football shit work, and it's different from high school to college, and it's also different from school to school, depending on what coach you playing for, depending on the offense you running, depending on the personnel you got. So I know that for 100% fact.
Yeah,
Well, I will say this. I will say this now. What you got to consider too is this Shadur's second year in offense. He's been with Pat Shermer. You know, this is gonna be the second season with Pat. You see what I'm saying? So last year, you know, you got the tight end coach who's back. You got Flea who's back. Last year, everything was new. The system was new. The university was new. The coaching staff, a lot of them were new. So when you take that into consideration now, we changed a few pieces out, but we're better off in terms of being more solid now than we were last year this time. This going to the spring game this year is a whole lot better than what's going into the spring game last year. So it's not just quite like it was last year, but I do agree with you. You know, I'm not gonna lie, losing Dylan it stings. You could lose somebody that caliber because you know what you got. But what I am telling you is I understand what we're trying to do overall. You can't be so predictable, and you got to run it back and okay, well I can't put him in when it's pass protection, take him out. Oh, okay, well I need to put my running back out in the slot. Well, I can't do that with him because he can't catch. You know what I'm saying? When you got to have a running back for every different scheme you're trying to do, you're gonna be predictable because now the defense gonna know that they're gonna know what you're doing as soon as you put the player in there.
Yeah,
I
they can
mean, so
dictate it off your
that's something you
personnel.
got to consider.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
that's
definitely a problem we
that's
had last year for sure.
yeah. That's what I don't think people are thinking about, man. And you have to be real. Like you can't like. Here's the thing with Dylan. You can't tell Dylan he's not a 31 back. Dylan ain't hearing that BS.
Hey, hey,
You know.
hey, Clark. When you say that's not true, bro. When you said about the defensive line is the hardest position on defense, bro. Like when you closer to the ball, it's harder to play. That's why you don't see too many freshmen defensive line come in big time power football and play like that. True freshmen, unless they just different. Like the
And
closer you are to the ball, harder it is to play. It's easy for a DB to come in and learn the playbook and play as a freshman, bro. But to Pastor point, to you, Pastor, I get what you're saying, but all I was saying about Dylan is, yeah, um, he's a mismatch nightmare. I mean, you can motion him out. You know what I mean? It's about college football. Is about matchup, bro. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? So it's about matchup. So if I got this guy that I know you can't beat him no matter what you do, you can't. I can motion my, I can do whatever. Even defensive end like Davion Clowney, can nobody block him. So college football is about matchup, and
Yep.
and to the point of about Hayden, I think Hayden gonna fit in great because it's some crossover between Pat Shermer and Ryan Day when they was in Philadelphia and stuff like that. So he that Ryan Day they kind of run the similar offense at Ohio State with what Pat Shermer doing. So
I agree with
I
I
think
agree
we
with y'all, but
did.
I'm gonna be. I agree with you.
Go ahead. No, I think like getting these two new running backs, hopefully the other guy commits this week, is going to be beneficial for the offense. Again, just like you were saying, Dylan, we all love Dylan because of well-off media videos, of course. Like we grew an attachment, but there is some issues that you can't put him in position in every game or in every snap. Right? He's not a good blocker. He doesn't run inside the holes really good. You have to get him wide open to create that mismatch. That's why you saw him in practice in the receiver right position, right? Just so you can get him in open space because his biggest threat is his speed, and everyone saw that at TCU. And then during the season, people were kind of able to contain and try to shut it down. I think bringing these two new running backs, one had a lot to do with Shador. Shador played with Dylan before. He played with Wilkinson before. He knows this is his final year. And it's like, okay, I know the pieces I want. That's why he got Webster to be a receiver to add from last portal. But he's like, I need running backs who can hit the hole, who can block, who could be an overall threat. And so if you remember, Shiloh was saying, yo, offense, hit up Shador if you're interested. And I think, Dalen and probably this running back who's coming this week hit up Shador, and Shador kept it real and was like, hey, we need a caliber like you to be RB1 or RB2, just to be on the field, just because this is what I need. I need the defense to respect our running game. Our receiver core is already, probably top 10 in the nation. So everyone is already going to look out for our receiving core, but they need to respect our running core. And we don't have that essentially. Dylan is good at open space, but if he's in the backfield, no one is concerned of him breaking an 80-yard touchdown in a hole or just breaking tackles between the gaps. And I think that's what he's been telling these running backs that's coming in for visits. Like, hey, we need someone like you to be on a big part of the offense. And I'm not sure if Dylan maybe heard, or maybe it's the bag from other schools that Dylan got, but maybe he saw his role diminish because they're not like following each other, I think. So it's like, hey, maybe Shador is like really controlling this offense of like, this is exactly what I want. This is exactly what I need. Because even Coach Prime was saying his favorite running backs were what? The 5'9s and Michael Welch of the world, right? And then you get these two other running backs that aren't Michael Welch, like, you know, they're 5'10, one's like what, 6'2, like big body backs that's not on Coach Prime's radar, but Shador is like, yo, this is on my radar. This is my last year. This is Travis last year. Like we won 4 games and lost the rest of our games last year. Like that's not happening again this year. And to make sure that's not happening again this year, we're getting a whole new O-line, which they got. We're adding to our receiving core, which they got. And we're bringing in running backs.
Hey, bro. Hey, that's cool. What is the point you trying to get to, bro? It's,
Nigga yapping,
yeah,
bro.
what are you trying to get to, man? What's the point? What is,
What's the problem?
yeah,
He was talking his piece. He was getting
That's
his
what I'm
points
saying.
off.
Yeah.
yeah,
Now, can you hear me?
Yeah, you was
Cool.
bro. Let him
No, the biggest thing is I'm not upset with Dylan
Your
leaving and
fat ass
Wilkerson
up.
leaving.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, I
I
think
mean,
that would just
I
make
agree.
it better.
I agree with a lot what you said. I mean,
That's his
I
point,
think I
nigga.
think Dallin though fits in that
look,
mold.
man, I get that. I fuck with it.
I think Dallin does fit like that, like that mold that Coach Prime likes though.
All right, Coach Carl, what are your thoughts, man?
I think that when you sitting back and I talk to kids every day, before they get in the portal, and Pastor says some great things, to touch on it. But kids make different decisions for all different kind of reasons. Sometimes they want a bigger role or a guaranteed role. Sometimes it's money. Sometimes it's competition. But whatever the situation is, you just got to accept the decisions that everybody makes for themselves, and you got to kind of move on, right? Like he's a good player and he's gone. But what I always tell kids to do is some of the things that you're really great at, and then you talk about some of the weaknesses that you may have as a player. You improving those things by developing over the years. And so when you're challenged to become better at your weaknesses, a lot of kids are deciding to go to another place instead of improving and upping their game, which is ultimately that's what's going to get you into the National Football League. I won't say that running back is a plug and play position. I think it's a little more complicated than that. It's not just being able to run inside outside zone. You got to be able to pass protect. There's probably 11 different types of protections. You got
Thank you.
you got to be able to catch screens. You got to be able to run your route tree. You got to be able to run checks and choices and understand two high looks versus one high looks, odd versus even coverages. So it's more to it than just simplifying it, to plug and play. And that goes both ways. That goes for the kid coming in and then the kid that's going out, going somewhere else. The NIL numbers that I'm hearing are kind of off because I deal with NIL deals every day. Nobody's paying a running back 300, 350,000, maybe unless you are Travion Henderson, a first round top 10 type of guy. Maybe those numbers are way out of whack. So I don't think that anybody's getting 350 from everywhere. That's kind of the price that people are paying for premium type defensive tackles. Maybe a first round talent at corner or left tackle, but in terms of the decisions that players make for themselves, I was a huge advocate for you to have the right to make this decision, but it is a choice. I definitely don't think it's the end of the world for the program or the player. It's just part of the business. You know, Many of the players that have transferred have not even been participants of spring practice. It was known in November, December that those kids wouldn't be back, but it's just April 15th was the first day they were officially allowed to get into the portal. So I just think when you sit down and look at really the facts of the matter, and I haven't talked to Dylan, so I don't want to speak for him, but you can paint whatever picture you want. Are the new running backs coming in? Is it I wanted to be number one that I did more and more money? Whatever the case is, if you want something and you feel like you can't get it where you at, players do have the option of trying to search it and seek it out somewhere else. And me being an advocate for kids first over everything else, I just hope that he put himself in a situation that ends up being beneficial for him.
Do you think he did?
Time will tell. Only time will tell. Right, wrong, and different. I don't know where he's going. I'm not really involved in that, so I think that we have to wait and see.
Okay, okay, fair enough. Carl, working for 247 though, do you think that with this kind of move, maybe it's being a little bit more overblown just because of how the coverage is with Colorado, and everybody has been kind of waiting, for the this whole thing to fall apart. Do you think also that's probably a big reason why this could probably be kind of be looked at more than it usually would be?
Well, obviously, you know, Coach Sanders is the most well covered coach in the game, and everybody's looking at his situation and trying to poke holes and pick holes at it because the way he's decided to construct his roster and construct his team. So yes, it is more magnified because it's him. You also have to remember that this goes on at a lot of other places, but Coach Prime has given unprecedented access to his program through well off media, through Amazon. Other coaches close practices, other coaches close content. So I've talked to 10 head coaches in the last week that have similar situations with roster movement, and you just don't know because they don't have the same type of access, and they not talked about as much. So um, it may be something that has the fan base kind of on pins and needles, or the detractors or the supporters or whatever side you stand on when it comes to coach. But the people inside the building know exactly what's going on, and they're well positioned to move forward and make the moves to improve their football team.
Oh, okay. Um, I did want to ask you though, uh, on your opinion of us getting Dallin Hayden, and what do you think about him?
I haven't really got a chance to watch the tape. I like to sit down and really evaluate a kid on film. I do know that he comes with a tremendous reputation, but I had to really see him play, and really get in his tape before I'm not a hype person. I don't just put stars on guys because somebody said they were good, anything like that. I got to really sit down and evaluate it for myself so I have a real opinion on it.
Coach Carl, I got a question. After this season, are you and Bud gonna have another little get together, another little powwow?
Me,
Cause Bud is on the timeline talking real spicy right now.
Yeah, Bud have it out for Prime every day, man.
man, Bud is not as bad of a dude as y'all may think. He just don't like Prime, and everybody not for everybody, But me and Bud definitely gonna sit down in that chair at the end of the season. I just told Prime he got to make me right.
Oh yeah,
Yes, Lord.
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
ain't he good?
hey, Coach Carl. But my sentiment with Bud, I mean, I get what you're saying, but his takes be sometimes coming out of like hate and not just actual fact and a traditional mindset versus, what I'm saying, Prime coming down, kicking down the doors and doing a whole new direction. And it's like that. And I see that from a lot of other national media guys, especially a lot of on three guys. And they hate the new way of Prime kicking down the doors and doing things. Like you said, roster management. You talk to a coach that do the same thing but do it privately. You know what I'm saying? It's like they want everything to be so private, where Prime is letting everything out and letting people know what's the real is. And guys, and the the people in the industry, it rubbed them the wrong way, like they hate it. So that's where his take be coming out from. For me, that's how I be interpreting it.
Sometimes people gonna hate you and they gonna be loud about it. That's just part of life. It come with it.
That's true.
You know, sometimes I say things and people don't like it. They don't agree with it. They DM me. They tag me. You know, it just believe me, it's just part of it. And so it could be exactly what you say it is. It could be hate, but you know, it ain't like you can put them in the headlock when you see them unless you like spending nights in the county jail.
Oh, you Cam Newton.
Yeah, or you can. There you go.
Hey, Kyron, you got something you wanna say, bro?
No, not really too much. I just popped in to listen, and I just say I do get y'all's frustration. Some of the coverage is a little bit off balance. I kind of mentioned that yesterday. You see the reactions today from Dylan transferring out, but when there was 6 recruits that came in key spots, and not just players and backup bodies. Right, we're talking about starters from other P5 programs, and even coaches that have spoken out about Prime in the past. So you start taking starters from their programs, and you get some quality backups, and you get a quality offensive line prospect that was highly sought after. It wasn't much of anything yesterday. Then today, it's like, what's going on with the program because Dylan is leaving. So, I do get the frustration with the unbalanced coverage, but I mean, y'all got to understand too, that's a part of the game. Like, it's going to be getting clicks from it and everything, and I try to like balance it out a little bit as much as I can, but I'm on the losing side here, and I full well understand that. Y'all just got to realize that that's just what's going to come with it. Like Coach Carl said, Coach Prime drives the numbers. Coach Prime is polarizing. Coach Prime ain't backing down from him, and people want to see it, and that's just what it's going to be. So I could try to balance it out a little bit. Y'all could try to balance it out a little bit as much as y'all want, but don't take it too much to heart because that's just the game.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
I mean, see,
Comes with
but
the territory, bro.
it's just
Because
hard sometimes
Alabama just
because
lost a
look,
player, Texas just lost a player, and we not even hearing about it.
Yeah, you don't hear nothing about Texas 5-star corner leaving, but when it was Kermani, it was the big deal. Prime losing the program. Man.
I mean, last season I thought he started last season. I mean, people talked about how many transfers Colorado took, and it was a lot more than normal. But Oregon had over 40 guys leave last year. I mean, Ole Miss coach Kiffin has turned over that roster through the portal every
Indiana.
season. Yeah, I
Indiana
mean
was another
Indiana.
program that had at the beginning of last portal. I think they had something like 23 players or something crazy, and it was never brought up.
Yeah, it's
Right.
happening
So
at
you just
Houston
got
right
Hey,
now.
Houston, I'm
yeah,
about to
you
say
just got to
Houston.
understand it.
The same thing going on at Houston right now.
So
That's just what's gonna come with it, man.
y'all want them to cover Indiana like they in Houston like they cover Prime? Is that what y'all?
No, no, no. I just want
Nah.
the energy to be the exact same.
But you ain't going. You can't. That's not realistic. That's
Yeah, it
not
doesn't drive clicks, bro. Like niggas not gonna talk about Houston.
So how about this? So how about this? So how about this?
Yeah, University of Miami is crazy too,
So
guys. Check out University of Miami.
so
Yeah, they just lost a 5-star defensive end
so let's
yesterday.
go back to like the Luther Burden thing when when Shiloh posted, "Hey, defensive transfers hit me, offensive transfers hit
Oh
your
yeah,
door,"
they moved the
and
goalpost
Luther
crazy
Burden did the
on that
exact
one.
same thing. And the only defense from the people who had a problem with what Shiloh posted
I'm gonna
was
say his
Missouri.
name. Andy Staples at On
He
No,
Three.
said it's because Mizzou
I'm not
won.
talking about that. I'm saying that he brought it
JD
up,
McHale.
and his defense was that Missouri was successful, so they're allowed to do that.
Yeah, that's shit.
And what? Why do you feel like you can control how other people feel though? Like everybody can feel had a right to feel however they want to feel. Just like y'all have a right to feel this way, but whether it's Andy Stapleton or Bud Elliott, whoever it is, they standing on how they feel, and it's nothing that you're gonna be able to do to get them to change that. So,
True, true, but
just me personally, I don't worry about stuff like that because that stuff really don't move the needle. At the end of the day, you got to run your program the way you see fit, and you got to make the decisions that you feel like are best for your program. Because the coaches at heart, and I'm not just talking about Prime, I'm talking about Mario Cristobal at Miami. I'm talking about uh, um, coach at Houston. His name Willie Freeze at Houston. Like they don't care what nobody think. None of them do, right? So in terms of that, like they not really
I'm
think
just, yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Waste a lot of your time when you looking for something to be fair because
It,
you told us life ain't fair.
it's just look, it's different with him because obviously he has a public, he has a very public, you know, uh, platform that spreads a lot of propaganda, and then not only that, but it's like we see the hypocrisy, and then we also see, the agendas that you guys push, and then it's like, all right, so we're just gonna be like, so as us as the watchers, are we just supposed to be like willfully ignorant and just act like, that you didn't just hold them to a whole different standard in front
Well,
of everybody?
well, I
Respectfully, we gotta not act like we don't know how white America, white media, and I know, respectfully, I don't mean to stir up no BS. I'm in a shed, so I might sound crazy. Let's not get on this Twitter space, y'all, and not act like we know or we've seen how mainstream media, how the world feels about a successful black man that doesn't want to make them feel uncomfortable. We don't got to keep asking, well, why they do this to Prime and nobody. We know why. That's a black dude who don't talk too proper, who's comfortable in his own skin, and he has his own kids that he's in their life and they're around him. They don't like that. We forgot that they don't want black coaches in the NFL. So what they're doing is just what they're gonna do. Not want a black person to win. Not want a black man that don't make them comfortable. That don't tiptoe around them when he's asking them questions. He'll hold something down. But if they keep asking him the same question, he's gonna let it be known. We know what this is, y'all. I get what everybody's saying, and I agree with what most of y'all is saying. But this is what mainstream media has been doing to successful black men for centuries. And he
But
got his own kids, and he's
um,
in their life. Come on, y'all.
bro, I feel like if you do things the way Prime is doing, and you go against like the status quo, if you're not winning, like it's just gonna amplify the criticism. So winning cures everything, bro. Like
You're
that's
not
really the
wrong.
only thing you gotta say. Like if he won and he did it his way, they wouldn't say nothing. But now it's like, oh, you did it differently and you're failing. It just makes it worse, you know. So
well,
Yeah, they want
gonna
to
have
say
something to say if you win. That too. They still gonna have something to say.
yeah, probably.
They're
the
gonna push it
goalpost.
back.
The goalpost will be moved to something else. Can he still win? Is he going to be? It's
Is he
going to be
gonna be
something
here
else.
after next year? Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a different agenda. We know what the big black elephant in the room is, man. We know what it is.
It is what it is, though. Prime used to the criticism, bro. But it's just us fans that low key like
Man,
care
if
too
Prime
much.
win next year, the goalpost gonna be moved to. Oh, why he ain't win the Big 12? He had all the talent.
No, it's going to be. Can he do it again? Or Travis and Shador is gone.
Yeah,
Let's see if
he
he can
would have go.
reload or whatever it is. It's going to be that. It's going to be is what it is. It ain't going to be. It ain't going to be too much clapping and celebrating. That's going the goalpost will be moved as soon as the season is over.
I got a question for y'all Colorado
Yeah.
fans though. Like, do you prefer where you are now as opposed to the 2 years before Prime? I mean, nobody was talking about Colorado for a decade, and I feel
I
like
mean,
this is what
Kyron,
comes with the spotlight as well too. So I feel
I,
like, do y'all feel
Kyron,
happy with the spotlight?
Kyron, bro.
Hey,
Hey,
Kyron, I
bro,
can't
hold
lie.
on,
I'm a
Mario.
part of the
Before you
Louis
go,
luggage.
Kyron, man, we black, bro. What we talking about? We here with Prime, man. You know what?
Hey, Clark, I didn't want to say nothing. I want to just
Right?
chill.
Yeah,
You know,
you know the
you know what it is,
matter of
man.
I
fact,
mean,
Hey,
I can
Kyron,
speak on
when he
this.
when he dropped in the
Look,
boulder, I
I can
dropped in.
speak
matter of
on this
fact, there's
because
one person that we could ask though. Let me see if he's still in the space.
hold up.
Nah, he gone.
Let me
Oh,
Ross
he
say
gone.
left.
something.
Yeah, he's gone.
Cause look, I mean,
He was he was the only OG.
I
Yeah,
talked to like legacy. I'm on the boards and stuff with them, and it just is the spotlight is good regardless, bro. Like it's better than going 1-11 every year. Like so, they don't really care. It's like they see the upward trajectory. So yeah, like they like the spotlight.
yeah, man. We part of the Louis luggage, Kyron. You already know what it is.
But if I'm comparing this year to last year, oh my god. Oh,
It's a different.
I'll tell you what though, man. Them first 3 weeks, you couldn't tell me Nathan. You couldn't tell me nothing after those first 3 weeks though, man.
Hey, so somebody about to say something? I'm sorry. Let's get some more people up here. All right, I'm dropping.
Like I said, man, we're gonna be fine.
Hey, fellas, let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question.
Yes, sir.
Are y'all good where we are with tight end?
Not even.
I think we were about. I think we were about Dylan, but we're not talking a lot about tight end. To me,
I want a
that's the
receiving
X
threat,
factor.
Pastor. I can't lie.
Yeah, that to me, I think. I mean, run it. The tight end piece, we got answers. I think, and we got solutions that are coming. Even though it may not be proven yet, we knew what Dylan can do. But I'm telling you, to me, it seems like that's the X factor. I just want y'all's thoughts on that. Well, I know the wide
Man,
receivers are skill players, but the tight end is
man,
the thing
listen.
that concerns me.
When it comes to tight end, I don't know if it's our evaluation. We haven't been able to get that position right for about the past 2 years. You know what I mean? With guys coming in and leaving right away. So you know,
Well,
um, yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tony.
tight end is one of those positions really anywhere. Like 4 star, 5 star tight end, even 3 stars, bro. It's hard to evaluate tight ends sometimes because more often than not with tight ends, either you're getting a good player or you ain't. Like there's no in between.
Yeah, yeah, that's my. I mean, it's really crazy because you can find a tight end who has all the measurables that can block, but at the same time, he has to want the will to block, and then he has to be a receiving threat. I get it's a lot, but I'm kind of And then if you look in the portal, there's not that many tight ends out there with experience. So
Hey, Pastor, why we didn't go after that dude that went to A&M? I had really liked this tape. He was nice.
Yeah, that's a good question. I know. We had a lot of hope with old dude out of Cincinnati. Um, I think he's from Florida too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. I'm told though, it just the catching the ball was an issue. That's what I've heard that a couple times. That it just we just couldn't. It just wasn't clicking. That's what I was told.
Hey guys, real quick, man. I appreciate y'all. Pastor Smith, I gotta see you soon. Y'all guys do a great
Man,
job
let's
on the
talk,
base.
man.
Hey, listen up.
Hey, come back in, check back in sometime,
Meg
Carl.
the Stallion cameraman on my other end. I gotta take the call, man. I'll get in with you boys.
yo, Carl, you crazy?
Be careful, Carl.
Bro,
I
Go
just
ahead,
wild,
boy.
saw.
Hey,
bro.
Big on the phone too?
I just saw that too. I don't know why it just came on my feed. Yo, he
Oh,
crazy.
he serious? He wasn't playing?
Hey, he was serious, but he wasn't serious.
Hold on.